Okay, girls. So for the last video on examples, we are going to do some of the questions that you're going to be doing on chapter 7.2. So the first one is 17% to write it as a fraction. So we know that that's 17 out of 100. And I know that I don't have to simplify it any further, so that's my final answer. Now let's look at this one, 353%. I want to point out something here, girls. When we did this exercise here before, I had a grid here with 100 squares. And with these 100 squares, I show you that all of them were shaded. So I had 100 out of 100, which is 100%. And I pointed out in this occasion that this was a whole unit. Agree? Because all of these ones are shaded. So it's one whole unit. So in this exercise, they're saying that I have 353%, which I know that is going to be more than one whole unit. Actually, they're going to be 3 whole units. So if we do this and we do 353 out of 100, and we use our CAS calculator, I'm going to show you how to do this in another video. So if we do this out of 100, I have to change it to an improper fraction. It says that this is equal to 3 wholes and 53 out of 100, which makes sense because I know that I had 300. We can say that this one was 300 plus 53%. Agree? So I have 3 whole units that are represented here, 3 whole units. Perfect. And then I have this 53%, which is this 53%. Okay, fantastic. Let's look at another example. Sorry, girls, about the noise upstairs. Valentina is having a massive tantrum, but I have stopped this video and restarted already 3 times. So just try to focus on my voice, okay, girls? Welcome to my world. So 50%, how do you express that one as a fraction? So I have to write 50 out of 100, and if I do this simplified, I know this one is going to be 1/2. This is a very common percentage, so it's a good one to just remember because it will come up a lot. 112%, so same thing. I know that I have 100, so it's going to be a whole 1 plus 12 over 100. But if we do it first and we say 112 over 100, this is saying that it's going to be, so I have to write this one as 1 and 12 over 100. And if I simplify 12 over 100, I get that this is 3 over 25. So this one is equal to 1 whole and 3 over 25. Fantastic. Now, question 5, 3.5%. So this is a little bit, they do this a lot, and it's just trying to trick you between numbers, but it's the same thing. 3.5 is a number. It doesn't matter that it's not a whole number, that it's a decimal, it doesn't matter. So we use exactly the same procedure that we have been using. We say 3.5 out of 100. And we use our CALS calculator to simplify this. And when I get that, it says that it's equal to 7 out of 200. And that will be our fraction. Now this one, same thing, 0.05% or 5/100ths percent. So if I do that, it's going to be 0.05 out of 100. And we use our CAS to simplify it, 0.05 over 100, and I get that this one is equal to 1 over 2000. Perfect. Now we have one more example to do. So it says in a bag, I have red and blue lollies. 73% are red. What fraction are blue lollies? So this is similar to taking into account our whole. So if I have my whole, and I know I'm not going to draw the 100 squares, but I know that we're going to say that 73 out of these ones are red. So I'm going to say, okay, let's say something like this. This is 73%. Let's say that I have here all my square, and this was 73%. So the rest of it has to be blue. Agree? Because I only have red and blue lollies. So we know that the whole has to be 100. So 100% take away 73%. The blue ones have to be, if I do 100, take away 73, is equal to 27%. And how do we write 27% as a fraction? 27 out of 100. And I know that I cannot simplify it anymore, so that's my final answer. And that's the last video for this part. So now your questions, I'm going to write them now. So you're going to do two things. First, you're going to go into Maths Online, and you're going to do lesson 4 of Maths Online. It has 2 sub-lessons, if you want to call it. And then you're going to do chapter 7.2, which is the PDF attached in Google Classroom. And you're going to do the questions highlighted in yellow. So, questions in yellow. I'm hoping that you're able to finish this today in class. I don't think it's going to take you longer. Maximum another lesson, and then that will be it, and then we can move into the other relationships. Okay, thank you, girls. Let's see how this works, and any feedback is much appreciated. Bye.